Hey guys, this is Nick from cryptosfornoobs.com with the weekly crypto analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 19th of June, 2018, and the time is 2010 here in the UK. You're looking at a BTC USD daily chart. In today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups on BTC USD and possibly on these other pairs, although these other pairs are so highly correlated with BTC USD that there's almost no point in looking for separate trades on them at the moment. It looks like some of the correlations might be fading away, but they're not quite faded away yet. They're pretty well correlated at the moment. So we're probably mostly going to look at BTC USD, but we'll check the other ones out just in case. We're going to be looking for setups, price action setups on the larger time frames. So probably mostly the daily and the 12-hour. I do trade cryptos on the lower time frames, but analysis on that is a little bit different. And at this point, we aren't doing it yet, but we will start doing it in the near future, not right now. So we're going to stick to the larger time frames, look for those more long-term trades. So to start things off, let's recap on last week. Last week, I was looking for a potential long trade here. That trade never triggered, so it just never pushed up enough for me to enter that trade. So it never triggered. It continued to push down. There was potential for a short trade here. When it pushed back up to this resistance area, I was looking for a continuation, but that one never triggered either. So there were in fact no trades on the larger timeframes on BTC USD last week. There were a bunch of trades on the lower timeframes, but yeah, on the daily, just nothing really panned out. We didn't get that bullish reversal, and we didn't get that continuation because for the most part, price kind of like just moved sideways. It did have this dip down. It did jump down to here, but then after that, it's just pretty much been moving sideways and slightly pushing up. Now, it's sitting at resistance though. It's sitting at a pretty strong resistance area, this one here. This is roughly the 6,850. And this resistance area is holding pretty well at the moment. Yesterday, so yesterday's daily candle, pushed up to this resistance area, hit it, and pulled away. Today's daily candle so far, and it's going to close in only 2 hours, actually an hour and 45 minutes. So this is pretty much likely what it's going to look like by the time it closes, unless we have a big turnaround, which is always possible. You never know. But likely it's going to close like this. I just put up those moving averages, by the way, because I had them hidden. Yeah, most likely it's going to close like this. Well, to me, that indicates that buyers are struggling to get up through this resistance area. They just can't break through this resistance area. Interestingly, if you look, I kind of love it when this happens. The highs are almost exactly the same. So yesterday's high is almost exactly the same as today's high. When it got to that high, it just goes boom and it shoots back down. So it's very clear that buyers right now cannot break through this area. There's not enough buyers. There are not enough buyers. There's too many sellers. So price is struggling to get through this area. What does that mean for tomorrow? Well, usually when you see something like this, what you're looking for is a continuation trade. So a continuation trade would be a short trade here because it's a continuation of the main trend with a target down here at the next support area. So a short trade from around about here with a target down here at the support area. This support area is the 6,000 level. So that's what I'm looking for tomorrow. After this candle closes tomorrow, I'm looking to get in short. So where would my trigger be? My trigger would probably be below the low of this indecision candle, just by a bit. My stop loss, stop loss would be, just look at the numbers. Yeah, trade would end up being something like this. These are the numbers. This is based on the current candle. Keep in mind that this candle can change. And also keep in mind that a lot can change by tomorrow. This trade is unlikely to trigger until, probably after lunchtime UK time tomorrow. So it could very well trigger before that. I'm just saying that usually things slow down a little bit. So around about lunchtime UK time is when I would expect things to start picking back up. And it's probably not going to trigger until then. So a lot can change by then. So be careful. And also, do not jump in short as soon as this daily candle closes. That's not how trading works. You can't jump in short as soon as that daily candle closes. We need price to push down. We need it to get below the previous low. And we need to start seeing sellers taking control. So bears taking control and pushing price down. We need to start seeing a flood of sellers and not a lot of buyers. So that's what I'm looking for on BTC USD. I'm looking for a short right now. Well, I won't say when, but if it hits this support area, from here, we're just going to have to wait and see. It could very well bounce away from here because it's bounced away from here several times recently. Well, not several times, but a few times recently. We can see when it pushed down last week, it hit this area, and as soon as it hit it, it goes boom and turns around. If you want an even more extreme example of how strong this support area is, it's this move down here. This move that I'm sure you're all familiar with, because this is when Bitcoin came crashing down from its highs at around 20,000 that it's never really recovered from. Came to here, hit this area, boom, turned around. And we can see an example before that where it pulled away from just below it, but it's clear that price reacts at this kind of area between 6,000 and 5,000. When price is down there at those that 6,000, between 6,000 and 5,000, around about here, you see a lot of buyers flooding the market. So that is to say, I wouldn't really target much more than probably around about the 6,130-ish. Maybe go down a bit lower to the 6,050, something like that. But when it gets to these points, when it gets to around 6,150, if it gets to 6,150, do start considering exiting because this area is strong. I wouldn't hold it much past the 6,050. That's just my personal opinion on that because I really think that price might struggle to get through this area at least one more time. But overall, it looks like Bitcoin is trending down and its recoveries are pretty weak. So recoveries just aren't really there. So usually when you see something like this, what it leads to is something like this. Now, let's see what happens. Let's see how it plays out. Let's take a look at Ether or Ethereum. Ethereum is very much in the same boat. This one hasn't quite hit its resistance area yet, but it's a similar kind of thing. We're looking for continuation. So if Ethereum manages to push up to the 570, I'll be looking for a continuation from here, a short continuation. Litecoin. Again, very similar, except this one hasn't hit its resistance yet. So if Litecoin pushes up to 113, then I'll be looking for a similar trade to BTC USD. And finally, we got Ripple. Ripple, like all of these are the same. Everything just follows Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the king and all the others are just the king's followers. Everything follows Bitcoin. So that being said, what I'm looking for, Ripple is one of the ones that follows at the back of the pack though. Ripple is a bit of a straggler. It kind of hangs back and it's like, should I follow? Should I follow? Maybe not. Because sometimes it doesn't, but most times it does follow. So what I'm looking for with Ripple is same kind of thing. Same deal. Up to this resistance area continuation. So, and that's very similar to this previous continuation here, by the way. So, yeah, that's the analysis for cryptos, guys, for today and for this week. We're just looking for a continuation of this downtrend. There are strong signs that price is going to continue down. One word of warning. The longer a trend runs, the more likely the trend is going to die. You know that saying, the trend is your friend? I'm not a big believer in that saying, because the longer that trend is alive, like people, I guess, the longer you're alive, the greater the chance you're going to die. And that's the same with trends. The longer this trend's alive, the greater the chance it's going to die. And this trend's been alive for a little while now. So what I mean by a trend dying is it's going to turn around and turn into a bullish trend. Bearish trend, the sell trend's going to die. But that's the reality of trading. Every trade you take has an element of risk. You can't get it right 100% of the time. So, you know, this trend could be over, but I'm still looking for a short continuation here because it does look like a pretty solid setup. So that wraps things up for the analysis, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.